Today I'm going to do a special topic. I've really combined two special topics for this because they're related. I'm going to do the concept of God as rock or stone and the concept of Messiah as cornerstone. Now, both of these, often God is described as the mountain, their permanence, their grandeur, their stability, their hardness. And that's one imagery. The other one is as a stone, a rock. Now, I guess the place that I see it so clearly is, boy, it's so beautiful. Psalm 18, verses 1 and 2, all those descriptive titles used for God the Father, powerful. It also a messianic title, and it comes from the idea that the Jews built the temple, but they left out the most important stone. Now, the Bible calls this the cornerstone, and it's specific in Hebrew, cornerstone. When we look at ancient temples, by the way, it might surprise you, but a lot of the Jewish temples is based on the architecture of the temples from, we would say, Lebanon. Not Philistines, but the Phoenician temples. Remember how Tyre sent his workers to Solomon to help build David's temple? Well, getting back to my point. In construction, there are three main stones. There is the cornerstone that sets the angles for all the foundation. In the archways of the ancient world, the stone that held all the weight is called the keystone. It's the stone right in the middle of the archway. And then the final stone, the last stone placed in the building, is called the capstone. It's put on the very corner, the last one laid. We're not really sure as far as the imagery which one of these stones the Old Testament prophets are referring to when they mention Jesus as the cornerstone. He's a crucial part in the Jewish temple. But the Jews, for whatever reason, focused on the ritual and did not focus on the circumcised heart, the faith aspect of the Old Testament. Now I want to look at New Testament uses for the idea of this cornerstone, and there are some really key texts. I want to talk about that Jesus quoted Psalm 118:22 about himself in all three synoptic gospels. Paul used Psalm 118:16 when he deals with the faithless and rebellious Israel, Romans 9:33. Paul also uses the concept of cornerstone in Ephesians 2:20 through 22. Peter uses this and the concept of Jesus in 1 Peter 2:1 through 10 when he quotes Isaiah 16 and again Psalm 118:22. If you want to know about cornerstone, look at Psalm 118. Notice that Peter mentions that Jesus is the new temple. Isn't that surprising? Remember Jesus said, tear down this temple, in 3 days I'll build it again. That's what they crucified him for. That was one of the charges before Pilate. But of course, he was talking about the temple of his own body. And of course, because we are like him, this is where Peter says we are living stones built up into a living temple. So Jesus is the temple, and because we know him, each of us becomes the temple of the Holy Spirit. It's really crucial, I think. Now, I have some theological conclusions I want to bring on this idea of Jesus as the cornerstone and God as the rock. Oh, before it, I missed one. I remember in my mind now. I'm getting old. Give me a break. One of my favorite Old Testament images for rock is found in Daniel chapter 2 and later on. As Daniel talks about the image of four metals with the feet of iron and clay, the fifth empire is a rock hewn out of the mountain without hands. And that rock hits that image on the feet, and all four of those empires crumble. Well, the fourth empire is the Roman Empire, and the fifth empire, the rock hewed out without human hands. Friends, that's the Messianic kingdom. That is a powerful imagery in Daniel, as it is in Psalm 118 and Isaiah 28. Yahweh allowed David and Solomon to build a temple for him. 2 Samuel 7, 1 Chronicles 17. But somehow they got caught up in the ritual and missed the faith requirement. Rabbinical Judaism focused on form and ritual. Some of the real scary texts about this is Luke 20:17 and 18. Contains frightening words of judgment, and it's about this rock in the road that the Jews fall over. Psalm 118:22. Doesn't that break your heart? These people have 2/3 of our Bible. They call God by the same name. They're expecting a Messiah. But friends, if they miss Jesus, they miss everything. My heart cries out for the salvation of Jewish people. I long for Zechariah 12:10, that they'll see him whom they've pierced and grieve over the loss of an only son. May it happen. May it happen. Salvation is meant to restore the damaged image of God. We're all made in the image of God. Genesis 1, 27, 26, 27. Male and female, made for fellowship. Genesis 3, 8. That was damaged in the fall of Adam and Eve. Salvation restores that image so we can have intimate fellowship with God now as it was in the Garden of Eden. Not physical, I don't see him, it's not by sight, but the doors are open to the Holy of Holies and God's presence because of what Jesus has done. Believers are to become living stones. Now, you might want to look at 1 Corinthians 6:19. That's where Paul lays this out. So this is my final little statement. I'm screaming now. I hope you hear me. I'm screaming now. Jesus is the foundation of our faith and the capstone of our faith. He is the Alpha, he is the Omega. He is the beginning and the end. Yes, there is also revelation of the stone of stumbling and the rock of offense, Isaiah 28:16. To miss him is to miss everything. Don't you get it? It's a person. There can be no middle ground here. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes unto the Father but by me. But he invites everybody to come. Have a good day.